Welcome to TPM Vid's Disney Beat, where we talk about all things Disney. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when we upload a new video. We also have Instagram and Twitter. You can find us at TPM Videos. As you step through the gates of any Disney theme park, the magic comes alive immediately. You walk into the park with an attraction in mind and head on over to that ride right away. But sometimes the magic comes to a slight halt. Although it's Disney where everything seems perfect, the rides do break down from time to time, especially since they're running constantly, upwards of 12 hours straight some days with very little downtime. This can be frustrating, especially if it's one of the rides you are really looking forward to. Usually when a ride breaks down and you're let off the ride, a cast member will give you a fast pass as a consolation for the inconvenience. Disney actually likes to use the term in-show exit when a ride does break down and guests need to be let off. It has more of a magical ring to it, don't you think? Now, although getting stuck on a ride is usually not the most ideal situation, for us Disney fans, it's something that we kind of wish happens from time to time. Having to go through an in-show exit usually means you'll get a view of the attraction that the average guest wouldn't normally see. So today, we're going to be counting down the top 10 Disney ride breakdowns and in-show exits. Number 10. The Little Mermaid. Whether it's Journey of the Little Mermaid at the Magic Kingdom in Disney World, or The Little Mermaid Ariel's Undersea Adventure at Disney California Adventure, this ride seems to always break down. The Omni-Mover ride system is a continuous circuit of vehicles that keep moving, but it does stop from time to time when people need assistance at the load or unload, or for other minor reasons. It's usually just a brief stop, and you can expect to hear this.
What's this? You've come to a stop. Maybe it's that sea witch. Listen to me. Stay seated in your clamshell while I get to the bottom of this.
This isn't really considered a breakdown since the ride usually starts back up again in a matter of seconds or minutes. But sometimes it's a more complicated issue that requires everyone to get off the ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. We regret that our adventure cannot continue at this time.
You'll normally know this is about to happen because the work lights in the show building will turn on, so cast members can assist you for the in-show exit. In this particular ride, you actually get pretty close to the animatronics while you're walking off the attraction.
You have your park tickets out? Rachel's gonna give you a fast pass.
Number 9. Pirates of the Caribbean. If you've been on this ride before, you'll know you're riding on a boat surrounded by water for most of the ride. So you might be wondering, what happens when this ride breaks down? And no, it doesn't involve swimming. At least not for the guests. So first off, the boats get backed up and become stacked behind one another on the ride path. And then it's cast members to the rescue.
You're the one they chose to push?
Yeah!
A very lucky cast member gets suited up in rubber waders, hops in the water, then pushes the boats along the ride path towards the closest dock.
Sorry, I whistled.
Once you get closer to the dock, another cast member then pulls the boat with a ride to its position. Then another team of cast members help you out of the boat to continue your in-show exit.
Congratulations! You made it!
Thank you.
Number 8. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. In the Buzz Lightyear rides across the Disney parks, your ride vehicle and a lot of the show scenes take place on 2 different levels. The show scenes are much lower than the vehicle track. There's a good couple feet difference from the ground to the track. Disney is all about safety first.
Please remain seated. This ride has stopped temporarily.
So, when the ride stops and there's a possibility of an in-show exit, the work lights come on and a railing is raised to create a barrier between the ride track and the show scenes. This ensures that everyone who may need to walk off the ride is safe. Now, sometimes they don't need to actually go through with the in-show exit. So, the railings are lowered, the work lights turn off, but you can say goodbye to your score. No matter how many points you had, they get reset to 0 during this process. But the good thing is that you actually get to go through the ride.
Check the status board to review your score.
Number 7. Radiator Springs Racers. At Disney California Adventure, you get the opportunity to take a fast-speed ride through Radiator Springs. Now, this ride usually breaks down due to mechanical issues or bad weather. If the outdoor portion of the ride track has the potential to get wet, then this could cause problems for the ride vehicles, so they stop the ride. If you get stopped while you're riding through the high-speed race, it can be a bit jarring.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing technical difficulties.
Oh no.
Please remain seated in your car. A cast member will assist you shortly. Thank you.
In this case, the ride vehicle stopped so close to the load and unload platform that it wasn't a far walk along the track to the exit. And even during in-show exits, you don't stop standing in a line. I mean, it wouldn't be Disney without lines, right? But in all seriousness, Disney always puts safety first, and since this ride has a gap in the floor of the ride track, they place a yellow and black metal plate over the gap for you to cross over, making sure everyone's okay while getting them through as quickly as possible. Number 6. Frozen Ever After. When Frozen Ever After opened at Epcot, it was constantly going down. Apparently, the ride opened a little too soon in June of 2016, before all the tests had officially been completed, so it was fairly common for the ride to break down. Sometimes it was an issue with the animatronics not working.
Please remain seated at all times, thank you.
A sensor could have been tripped, or even the switch track that allows your boat to go down the flume at the end of the ride stopped working. In most of these situations, the work lights come on and cast members come into the ride to assist the guests for the in-show exit.
Okay, so we're going to connect that on the boat. One row at a time and one person at a time. Okay?
Now, depending exactly where the ride stops, you'll either be guided through a back door, or like in this clip, taken along the platform on the side of the flume out to the attraction's exit.
All safe as now.
Number 5. Aquatopia. At Tokyo Disneysea, Aquatopia opened in 2001 and was actually the second ride in Disney park history to utilize a trackless ride system. So you sit in a vehicle that resembles a hovercraft that moves fairly quickly through the shallow lagoon. The water is only about 2 inches deep, but it seems like cast members at this attraction are always equipped with rubber boots to be able to walk through the water, like this cast member here, who goes in to retrieve an umbrella from the lagoon. When this ride does stop working and breaks down, the ride vehicles are unable to move, leaving the riders stuck in the lagoon. But never fear! This attraction also seems to have a lifetime supply of rubber boots for the guests. Now, here's a serious question. Do you think the cast members collect the shoe size of each guest, or do they just hand out any boot, hoping that it fits? I don't know. It also appears that since the lagoon is so shallow, that the water does begin to drain for the in-show exit. Even though there probably wouldn't be much water left in the lagoon, the boots are most likely handed out to ensure the guest's safety. Number 4. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. Disney's Hollywood Studios is home to arguably one of the most popular thrill rides at the resort. The ride system in Florida uses a wired guided vehicle that relies on a magnetic sensor to determine direction and speed of the vehicle. Sometimes the ride vehicle misses the magnet and is off by 1/64th of an inch, causing the ride to stop.
Attention hotel guests. Your elevator has been stopped momentarily. Please remain seated. You will begin moving again very soon. Hotel staff will be on hand to assist you as needed. Please remain seated.
Attention hotel guests, the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror is experiencing technical difficulties at this time.
When this happens, cast members come to the elevator vehicle with a step stool to guide you off the ride safely. One thing to note about these cast members especially is how reassuring and calming they are towards the guests. And although you may be sitting in the ride vehicle for over 30 minutes, like any other in-show exit, they make sure the guests are looked after.
Anybody wants to ride again, as soon as we get you back here to these doors, they'll take you right back upstairs and let you ride all over.
Number 3. Splash Mountain. So, Splash Mountain at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom does break down from time to time. It's common that the animatronics stop working or the music stops. But, like the other water rides, the vehicles get into a bit of a logjam before officially breaking down. Once the logs have stopped moving, a cast member then comes to assist each vehicle. They use a yellow rod to unlock the lap bars, then help guests onto the platform. Once everyone is safely out of their logs, they're escorted by a cast member through the ride to the nearest exit. Like the Little Mermaid ride, This in-show exit usually gets riders pretty close to the animatronics, which is a pretty cool opportunity to be honest. The path to the nearest exit definitely gives you a different perspective and view of certain scenes in Splash Mountain, like this view of the finale. Number 2. Space Mountain. Most of the roller coasters at the Disney parks are enclosed indoors and in the dark, such as Space Mountain at Disneyland. If you've ridden before, you've probably been curious to know what the ride would look like if it wasn't in the dark. It's probably every Disney fan's dream to go through this ride with the lights on. And if the ride does go down, you'll most likely get this view.
Attention, space travelers. All flights have been put in a holding pattern. Travelers in rockets, please remain seated as your flight will continue in a moment. Those travelers awaiting departure, please remain where you are, and a host or hostess will direct you.
Now, a few things could happen if Space Mountain goes down. 1. The lights turn on and a cast member needs to come assist your rocket and manually push it down the track.
Stay clear. Rapid approaching.
You then ride the rest of the roller coaster with the lights on. Or 2. You're greeted by a cast member, helped out of your rocket safely, and proceed with the in-show exit through the attraction. Number 1. Ellen's Energy Adventure. On August 13th, 2017, Ellen's Energy Adventure at Epcot had its last day of operation. On this attraction's very last ride ever, over 300 riders were in for a little surprise and experienced what is probably the best Disney ride breakdown to ever happen. According to this cast member, Vehicle 1 had a bad battery pack. So, as the vehicles approached the diorama scene, the battery gave out, the ride stopped, and the work lights came on. Cast members then began the in-show exit. But as they were going through the procedures, cast members allowed guests to walk around the diorama, take pictures, and get really close to the animatronics. This is pretty much any Disney fan's dream, being able to roam around a Disney attraction freely. It's obviously not the ideal last ride that the Universe of Energy management team wanted, but in true Disney fashion, this cast member made sure the experience ended on a high note.
If it was gonna happen, it couldn't have happened in a better place. That's the way I like it.
Thank you.
I mean, even this giraffe on Kilimanjaro Safaris blocking the path couldn't have stopped in a better place.
Here's our baby giraffe coming up as well.
Sometimes your ride experiences might not go as planned, but you can always find that little bit of Disney magic in every situation. So, are you one of those people that hopes they get stuck and gets to experience an in-show exit on a Disney ride? Has it ever happened to you where a ride broke down? Which ride was it? Leave a comment down below and start a conversation. Don't forget to enter the holiday giveaway, TPM crew. Link is in the description and you could win one of 3 awesome prizes. If you have any videos from the Disney parks that you'd like to share with us to be used in future videos, follow the link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching. Click the TPM icon on the screen to subscribe to this channel and check out some of these other videos which we're sure you'll like.